Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Freaky Fast Broadcasting, where tonight these RSR Cup Series drivers take on the Auto Club Speedway after we've seen an amazing race from the ARCA Evolution Series here, Auto Club, just not too long ago. But now we'll bring the Cup Series here from the home of Evolution Racing Leagues. And remember, Evolution Racing Leagues is brought to you by some wonderful sponsors. First, we have Orr Nissan Central, the leading Nissan dealership in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. So make sure you go check them out and tell them Freaky Fast sent you. That'd be pretty cool. But next we have Sheffield Graphics. Remember, Sheffield Graphics is the leading designer in sim racing paint schemes and liveries. It was founded by a Navy veteran, and a portion of every paint goes directly to support the Military Foundation Folds of Honor. It's a great nonprofit organization that gives sponsorships to the families of fallen soldiers and disabled veterans. Make sure to check them out on Facebook under Sheffield Graphics. And you can also check out this wonderful logo done by Sheffield Graphics here, the new logo here at Evolution Racing League. So congrats to their merger with Wallbangers. I'll get into more of that after we get our final sponsor of the night out here, and that is ButtKicker. Feel what you've been missing. Every game deserves a truly immersive experience. The ButtKicker Gamer 2 lets you feel every detail, from subtle footsteps to the rumble of a V10-powered race car, from ambient environmental effects to the power of a nearby explosion. By moving a physical mass instead of only air, the Gamer 2 provides instant, accurate, powerful base response, and it's all perfectly synced with every game with no additional software required. So make sure to go check out ButtKicker and their ButtKicker products on ButtKicker.com. You can also use Freaky Fast 20 there to get 20% off on anything you purchase from the website. So that's also a cool thing we have going on here, where they sponsor Evolution Racing Leagues and Freaky Fast. So that's really cool to have them as part. And we actually have ButtKicker in our giveaway at Freaky Fast Broadcasting on Facebook. So make sure you go check that out. But thank you to all the sponsors that make it happen here at the Evolution Racing Leagues. And like we were talking about, a brand new announcement made by Evolution Racing Leagues that, this Evolution Racing Leagues, I can pretty much give y'all a history here, is they started by joining multiple leagues together and becoming almost a family and a network where people could come and race together. And they're proud to announce that they have the addition of the Wallbangers Racing Truck Series to add to the family of the Evolution Racing League. So they're going to bring a very fun and competitive Saturday night open setup truck series with a long list of great drivers into the family here at Evolution Racing Leagues. So we want to not only from Freaky Fast welcome Wallbangers on to Evolution Racing Leagues, but congratulate Evolution Racing Leagues on forming that partnership between Wallbangers Racing and themselves. So that'll be great stuff coming for them on Saturday nights, and more to come from that in the future, of course. But congrats to the Evolution Racing Leagues. But I tell you what, we got a wonderful night here. I'm Zach Hall up in the booth. Alongside me will be Brandon Colley, as always, calling the shots up here in the booth. We'll have Robert Moyer running the cameras here at the beautiful Auto Club Speedway. But tonight, Brandon, we have round number 3 here at the Auto Club Speedway. What can we expect to see, my friend?
Well, hello everybody, and hello Zach. Man, I'm really excited for this race. It's one of my favorite tracks. For some reason, I run really well here, and I'm expecting to see cold tires, the cars being quite a bit loose. But once these things get warmed up, really flat, high-speed corners, it's going to be all about keeping up that momentum, making sure you're not overdriving the corner, cutting into your apex too soon, because you don't want to heat up that right front too much. These cars are going to lean to the tight side as the run goes on, and any extra bit of wear and abuse on that right front is going to make that even worse. And if you want to keep your pace up, got to keep that right front underneath the car. Pit strategy is going to play a huge factor, in track position as well. Dirty air is going to be a really big factor here, and you're going to have to watch out the exits of the corners, because these exits get tight really, really quick. A little bit gas too soon or some dirty air on your nose, and you might find yourself in the wall.
That's very true there, Brandon. Last week we seen Travis Everett in the 59 bring home the victory there at the Homestead Miami Speedway racetrack. What a race that was we seen here in the Cup Series for round number 2. But through 2 rounds, we have some pretty interesting point standings. Right now, you have newcomer to this series, Trevor Massetti, in the points lead, followed by Cody McCauley there in the second position in points. 5 points directly back. Dylan Reed, this round 1 winner, 7 points back in the 3rd position. Last week's winner, Travis Everett, in the 4th position in points, 9 points back. And rounding out your top 5 will be John Willett there, 21 points, or actually, yes, 21 points back in the 5th position from Trevor Bassetti. So congrats to those guys so far through the top 5. We also had some big moves last week and some big losses because we're only 2 rounds in. So the standings are going to change a lot with these such few races. Curtis Preston, last season's champion, moving up 23 positions up to the 14th place in points. Also, GT Irizarry moving up 20 spots from 28th to 8th on the point standings. And also Kevin Sabilla, the big loser last week, losing 21 positions all the way to 24th in the standings. So, like I said, it's big ups and down moves for guys throughout the points here tonight. We also had the Elite Racing Group leading the team standings directly ahead of Slide Job Racing, who won the team championship last year, with Clutch Motorsports in 3rd, Stealth Motorsports in 4th. 5th is going to go to Jetspin Racing. 6th, Front Row Racing. 7th is Zab Motorsports. And 8th is Flyboy Racing. As these 8 charter teams take on the Auto Club Speedway tonight, we're in for the battle for the Sheffield Graphics Pole Award. Brandon, what can we expect here in qualifying? We've seen last week Cody McCauley pull on that pole award.
Well, Cody McCauley, man, he's fast, and it seems like every series he runs in for qualifying, I expect him to definitely be contending up here for this pole. And really what you're going to see is, guys, you've really got to sail it off into turn 1 a lot farther than you'd think you need to, and just find that right balance to keep it low and carry as much momentum off the corner, slide out to the fence, and not knock it down. Anybody who's able to just scare themselves enough to where they think they're going to hit it, but not quite, that's what's going to put you on the pole.
Very, very true. I have to see how it all shakes out here. We're watching Randy Cornwell in that 18 machine take on this Auto Club Speedway and see what type of lap he can put down himself. Cody McCauley led the practice there in the 62 machine. See if he can get himself in that pole position. Right now, Zach Schrittenthal with the top time right now, about 40:57 to lead Curtis Preston with a 40:60. So, time is down for what we see in practice, Brandon, but that's mostly due to the draft.
Yeah, absolutely. And draft, that's going to be the name of the game tonight. You need to keep your car clean. Draft is what is going to allow you to get up there and win this race. And also, because of the draft, you're going to be side by side quite a bit. These cars, lower horsepower, so they can't just pull out a lot of outright speed by themselves. And the draft is going to keep everybody really close together. And you're going to see a lot of side-by-side racing for a number of laps. It's not the easiest thing here to get side-by-side in the Cup Cards at Auto Club and make a pass pretty quickly.
Looks like Randy Cornwell done with his lap in the 18 will slot into the 11th position as Curtis Preston has put himself in that 29 up on the top of the board so far through this qualifying session. So this has been really close times through the first portion of qualifying. We'll have to see if anybody can go out there and upset that number 29.
It's going to take a tall order. The 40.3 is a really quick lap. Brock Potter just shy there for his second lap. We'll have to see Bob Fitzpatrick in the 3 now. He's coming out on his first lap. See what kind of times he can put down here. And normally the first lap is not your quickest. Just kind of use that lap to build up momentum and warm the tires up, and then really dig for your second lap. As we see the 3 of Bob Fitzpatrick coming across here to take his first green lap here, really keeping it low. And that's his 3rd lap. Where am I? Okay, I'm very, very off. He took the first lap and it didn't register a time, and I was like, okay, well, he's going out here starting, but nope, that was at the end of it.
Maybe he had an incident is the only thing I can expect. That first lap didn't count there. But yeah, we're watching right now. Ryan Bean came pretty close in that 25 to taking that top spot there. With Brock Potter now 3rd, Michael Sheffield 4th, Cody McCauley on that first lap up to 5th. What does his second lap do? We're riding here looking at the 62. Can he pull off that Sheffield Graphics Pole Award? He's stacking up a lot between the Cup Series and the Truck Series here at the Evolution Racing Leagues.
He's going to have to buy another house to put all them trophies in, I think.
And there he goes to the top of the board. And Kevin Giadrich also jumping to 2nd, but Cody McCauley with a 40.259, same lap time he ran from practice, backing that up, and that is impressive lap time there from the 62 of Cody McCauley.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's something we see out of Cody all the time, but it's kind of hit or miss whether or not he comes out and really puts down a good pace and conserves the tire, or just maybe pushes a little bit too much. It's really easy to overdrive when you don't have anybody in front of you to gauge your speed off of. So we'll have to keep a close eye on that. And you said Kevin Jadrosich there, only at 10th off, but between third and fourth, less than a tenth of a second between the three of those drivers. So really close pace here.
Yeah, that was literally less than almost 100th. I mean, that separating those top three or second to third or second to fourth. So great stuff. We'll pull up our starting grid here tonight as we got a load of cars here. 38 cars, I believe, here tonight to start this field. Starting on that pole position, we'll go to Cody McCauley in that 62. Second's going to go to Kevin G. Addersitz. Third is going to be Curtis Preston in the 29. Fourth is going to be Ryan B. in the 25. Fifth is going to go to Brock Potter. Sixth there is Michael Sheffield. Seventh is going to be Zach Schrittenthal. Eighth is points leader Trevor Massetti. Ninth is going to be John Willett. 10th position is going to be Nolan Potter. 11th is going to be last week's winner, Travis Everett. 12th is Craig A. Burns. 13th, Dylan M. Reed. 14th, Daniel Gonzalez. 15th position will go to Matthew Rush. 16th, Dustin Stallings. 17th is James Courtrone. 18th, Nathan Campbell. 19th, Andrew Little. 20th is Rusty Modesty. 21st, GT Irizarry. 22nd, Harold Watkins. 23rd, Randy Cornwell. 24th, Casey Kuntz. 25th, Kevin Ruff. 26th, Junior Miller. 27th is Chad Biesinger. 28th, Adam Buzzio. 29th, David Hall. 30th is Bob Fitzpatrick. 31st, Tony Ludi. 32nd, Kip Easley. 33rd, Michael Martino. 34th, Anthony Younes. 35th is going to go to Kevin Sabilla. 36th is Marc-Andre Thibodeau. 37th, Alex Rudolph. And rounding out your field in the 30th position is Kevin Zabladil. And now we'll pull up our Sheffield Graphics Pole Award winner of Cody McCauley and let him get a talk here with Brandon Colley.
Hey, Cody, it's Brandon up in the booth. You got a copy, bud?
Yes, sir.
Well, Cody, I seem to be talking to you quite often between the Truck Series and RSR Cup Series, man. Another pole for you. How are you getting around this track tonight? Is the handling on the tight side a little bit free?
A little bit of both. It seems to be a little tight in the center, and then wants to snap off because you put so much wheel into it. But, we just found a good rhythm. I think we're really good for the first few laps. Just got to try to find a good spot to manage our tires and stay up front. It helps that we got a teammate up here helping us out tonight. So, it should be a good race. Just got to get to the end and hope we're there for the finish.
Well, it sounds like a really good plan. We were talking about how influential the draft is going to be tonight. Do you think anybody's really going to be able to break away from the pack, or is it going to be a lot of defending?
A lot of defending. The draft is huge here, and it changes the car so much. So it's going to be interesting. I think you're going to see a lot of hard side-by-side racing. Probably see a lot of guys kind of walking these things sideways off the corner, which got to try to stick with it, hang on to it, and be there towards the end.
Well, side-by-side racing and cars wanting to step out just a little bit makes for great racing, so we're looking forward to it. And we'll let you get back down there, get ready to start this thing up, and maybe we'll talk to you during one of these stages or at the end of this thing.
For sure. Thanks, guys.
All right, that was your Sheffield Graphics pole winner there. Cody McCauley leading the field to the green here tonight. For the Auto Club 100, remember stages at lap 30 and 60. And remember how valuable stage bonus points are here at the RSR Cup Series. One of the most important things you can do is get those bonus points. But we'll have to see how it all shakes out here as we're about to get it all started with the 62 of Cody McCauley leading us to the green flag. The pace car will take the hard left-hand turn off, and we're going to ride on board with Cody McCauley here as we watch this field go to battle. Green flag in the air in tonight's event for 100 laps. one lap in the books here, and we have our first caution brought to you by Nissan Central here. And I tell you what, Ryan Bean had a big moment, but I'm not sure exactly what brought out that caution. I'll have to go back here and check all that out. But man, oh man, early caution here at the racetrack, and I believe it happened somewhere near the.
That was the 6 of Rusty Modesty.
Yes. Looks like Rusty Modesty losing that car right in front of GT RSR. We're going to go back here on the Freaky Fast replay here. And you'll see going through 3 and 4 just loose. These cold tires. You see Ryan Bean drifting up here in the front of the pack. That's also happening to Rusty Modesty. Could not hold on to that thing. Loses the rear of that car and slams hard on the right side into 3 and 4 there. And that's going to bring out our first or Nissan Central caution of the night. And man, oh man, unfortunate for the 6, because remember, Rusty Modesty is a fill-in driver for Robert Nestor. So, you know, that's a tough way to start the night for that 6 here.
Yeah, absolutely. That was, you know, something we talked about. The car is going to be a little bit on the loose side with these fresh tires for the first couple laps, and we heard it from Cody McCauley that it seems like it's tight in the center, which is pretty common for these Cup cars, and they snap loose off. And it looked like he started to lose it a little bit in the center and tried to fix it, and then it just snapped worse, which pretty common to see. Anybody who's ever had some time in the sim, especially with these Cup cars, can attest to exactly what that feels like.
Yeah, it's easy to do. It's I tell you what, it's one of those moments where just the car just steps sideways on you, and when you get sideways on iRacing, it's so hard to catch. I mean, even the real Cup drivers, when they do the NASCAR Invitational, which got announced that it's coming back to this during this year, so that's gonna be cool to see some Cup drivers back on iRacing. But the big thing is, like they said, it's harder to save the car in here than it is in real life. Really, it's a very difficult thing to do, and it's right on the knife edge. And that 6 just could not hold on to it here as we have our first caution of the night very quickly. And the thing is, too, Brandon, got to look at here our fuel load at the moment. I believe we have 100% fuel here. So yeah, 30 laps is not an issue for them to make. So I think that's I would be surprised even if we see a green flag stop tonight with the way the stages are. Maybe at 4 with that last run, but I think that'll really only be 35 green laps technically.
If I remember correct, Zach, that last fuel run at 40 laps should easily be done. I think you can run pretty close to 50 laps here on a fuel load. But certainly with that extra couple laps for the stage caution at lap 60, they should easily be able to make it. It's just going to be all about track position and tires.
Very, very true here is they have 4 sets of tires tonight. So that means they have 3 sets left in these pits. We have 2 stage cautions. So you're most likely going to be using 2 of those sets of tires under those staged brakes. And now I tell you what, it's in the driver's hands for the decision of their strategy. Here you see Ryan Bean at 25. Tell you what, he had a big drift coming off of 4, Brandon. That 25 could have been night over for him.
Oh yeah, and we talked about with seeing Rusty Modesty with these cars in particular, their aerodynamic package. It's so unique, and when you're sideways, it feels a lot more sideways than you are. And it's incredibly easy because of that to have a slight oversteer, which will cause that snap back to the right. So really good job for Ryan not to end up in the same position as the 6, because any type of slide, especially with these cars, is incredibly scary. It's a toss of the coin whether or not you're going to come out of it.
Yeah, like you said, it's just really 50-50 shots sometimes with that stuff. And he did a great job to save it there and keep that car nice and straight and up in the 4th position too. I must point out here is the pace car is going to pull in this time. We're going to have a single file restart as the green flag is back in the air. Cody McCauley going to lead us down here to turn 1 as this field single file all the way down to turn 1. Let's see how it shakes out after we get there.
Well, I imagine it should be a lot tamer. I was back in the field looking at a lot of these guys. They were 3 wide in a couple places going down the backstretch during that first lap. and now they're all single file. Not a lot of chances to get side by side just yet, but I imagine in a couple laps, once the draft really kicks in, we're going to see a lot more side by side. Even out of 2 already, back in the 19th position with GT, looking to take it 3 wide here.
Yeah, look at GT on the inside here. He's got Nathan Campbell in the 52 directly ahead of him. He's got Randy Cornwell behind the 68, Andrew Little up high there. And I believe that's the 93 of Dustin Stallings also there. So, yeah, multiple cars in this picture. GT definitely qualified pretty far back in the 21st position for his normal qualifying there. So he's going to need to make his way through the field. But look at this right here. Kevin Ruff in the 112. He's working in that bottom lane trying to get past these drivers.
Yeah, there's a lot of patience you have to have here, especially early in, just how quick everybody is running in comparison to each other. The draft, you just cannot afford to really step out and let the single file line, especially like right now, get away from you, because it's just going to open the door for a lot of people to pass you on the outside down the straightaways. These guys right now, everybody's just kind of hanging out. Ooh, it looks like Bob Fitzpatrick back into the fence.
Yeah, heavy hit there for him. I don't think it was too bad. It looked heavy, but I can't get a good look on that car. I think looks fine on the right side. He may have just grazed that thing. Really going back and looking at, yeah, he got it, but he didn't do a terrible job. He did a pretty good job at getting out of it, but he was moving forward quickly from that 30th starting position. Now you can see here's David Hall in the 21. Starting to put a little pressure on him to the inside line here with Casey Coonson at 31 up above him.
Yeah, and it looked like to me, Zach, what we talked about earlier is that dirty air getting back to the gas a little bit sooner, center of the corner. The car just does not like to turn, and it's funny because I've seen in multiple races where one guy will just gas it a little bit too early and pull a bunch of people up right into the wall behind him just due to the nature of the dirty air, and it's just you just want to follow the car naturally. So great job for him for not hitting it as hard as he could. That could have been a lot worse, and all the rest of these guys for not following suit and maybe piling in on top of him.
Yeah, that's a great point you make there, Brandon, about following someone into the wall. Very easy to do, and with dirty air, the way we talk about this every single week, especially these tracks like this. This track specifically, you catch a car, and as soon as you get by them, you're automatically a tenth or two quicker, just because of the downforce reduction you get behind that race car here. So we're looking at Travis Everett. You can see the 34 Nolan Potter directly behind him. That car, a lot less downforce on the front of the nose, but you also got to look ahead of the 59 Travis Everett. He's got the 2 of Zach Schrittenthal. So these guys are kind of fighting on even playing fields here. They're all in traffic. But being Cody McCauley, that car out front, is so much nicer. It's really mind-blowing how much better the car drives when you get that air on that nose and seal that splitter off to the racetrack.
And just because of that, we're going to see, especially the restarts where these guys opt to come down and take one of their sets of tires. The restarts, just due to the nature of how you have to drive with these cars and just the way this track seems to run, restarts are extremely aggressive. I mean, we saw lap 1 3 wide, half a lap in multiple places. You just cannot afford to lay back here. You have to get those positions when you can.
And we're seeing last week's winner, Travis Everett, battle with Zach Schrittenthal now as we look up to the one of Michael Sheffield. Michael Sheffield, great qualifying spot for him. Normally we see Sheffield working his way back from really usually the 20s and in the teens. Tonight, starting in the 6th position, we can see this one car have a really good run here tonight with this type of showing already.
Oh, absolutely. Sheffield, really smart, consistent, and really conservative, the biggest point. And just going to be really patient here. Doesn't want to push the issue too much. Just kind of ride around and let everything settle in, let the tires settle in, and then figure out where he's at and if he can make some ground, or if he's just going to have to be content riding around here until they get either a caution or the end of the stage. But still really good spot for stage points, being in the 6th position right now.
Yeah, we got a battle back here with the 34 Nolan Potter to 131 of Dylan Reed. We also got a 2 of Zach Schrittenthal battling Travis Everett here directly, and this is 10th, 11th, 12th, and 9th. So it's all these guys stacked up on top of each other, and directly behind him, the guy who's really been making this big move through the field is GT Rosario from 21st to 13th. as he's right on board here with Dylan Reed side by side with Zach Strittenthal. He's trying to make his way up through this field as we see Dylan Reed win the Daytona race. So he's a race winner, and there's another race winner directly ahead of us. Ooh, you can't see it now, but the 2 is tight on the door of that 131. They're coming off of 4, racing very hard here. It's Nolan Potter and Zach Strittenthal, who's side by side with Dylan here, our teammates.
And you know, it's pretty interesting. The biggest thing that's shaken up this race was that single file restart. Because generally, it's not uncommon to see just a huge pack of cars side by side here. They hang out side by side pretty well. The draft is so good. But now that they're all spread out, it's almost like a late run forced to an early run. Because this is what you'll generally see, 20 laps in, 30 laps in, when the tires are really worn, and guys are just kind of hanging out, and you can't really pass anybody because the draft is so strong. They just pull away from you when you try to make the pass.
See Nolan Potter now to the inside of Zach Strittenthal, teammate. They're trying to move himself up to the 11th position, push teammate Zach Strittenthal back to 12th. Looking back here at Daniel Gonzalez now in the 16th position, started in that 14th position, directly behind the 12 of Craig A. Burns. So we're doing a pretty good right now with Dustin Stallings there directly behind the 17th position. So 2 drivers here that could definitely make the way up through. I mean, Dustin Stallings too, last season past winner. I'm interested to see if he can starting to make his way through in that 93. Is some nights he just shows blazing speed, and then some nights it seems like more of a struggle here. As you look back to the 22 of Harold Watkins here, he's in the 26th position, battling with Adam Buzzio. So great battles throughout this whole field. You got Alex Rudolph coming into the picture in the 42 as though the 22 is going to close the door on him. It's battles all around this racetrack here for 2 miles.
Oh yeah, this being spread out this early in the race, you kind of can't afford to give up a whole lot of position, even though it's super early in the race. But man, if we can get a good group here at the front that start battling pretty hard side by side, it's going to allow all these other guys to close in really quickly and get a bunch of pack racing. And then you've just got to be super patient, and you can make up a lot of positions there. There's a big chance for calamity to ensue and pick up quite a lot of cars. It's not quite Daytona or Talladega. You're a little bit more off throttle than you ever would be there, but the threat for the big one still looms.
Looking at this 75 of Michael Martino here in 34th position. He's got the Kool-Aid car, and he's saying, oh, yeah. Hopefully we just don't hear, oh, no.
Oh, no.
That's something he does not want to hear. He wants to hear as many oh yeahs as possible. Is the Kool-Aid man here. As you got the 18 of Randy Cornwell here. He's battling hard with, I believe that's the 112 of Kevin Ruth. Yes, it is. This is for the 18th and 19th position. You got the 52 of Nathan Campbell directly behind. But that's the thing too, Brandon. 38 cars here. Man, there's just so many battles going on. This racetrack is just great to see. Each and every week, guys one guy finishes top 5 one week, and the next week you see him, he's running 20th, possibly.
It just shows that the talent level in this league is off the charts. It's such a close competitive league where you never really know any given race where anyone's going to finish. I mean, we talk about Cody McCall, who's able to put it up on the pole quite frequently. But even still, I mean, it's one thing to have 2 good laps. You've got to string together 100 or more laps to have a good race. Excuse me. And a lot of these guys, sometimes they struggle with it and show really good pace. We were talking about Dustin Stallings last season. Had a lot of speed, but the results have just been kind of inconsistent, mostly due to no fault of his own. A couple unfortunate incidents, especially at Daytona, but still running in the 16th position, a proven winner.
Yeah, we're looking at the 68 of Andrew Little right now in the 21st position. Remember, he's a playoff driver last year too. So Andrew Little, and he was a guy that really took a lot of chances we seen with the stages during the playoffs. He tried to get stage wins and stage points a lot of times. And, we're in lap 19 here, completed 18 laps, started lap 19 here. I don't know if there's much strategy you can play here tonight with the stage at lap 30 at this moment.
I don't think so. I don't think it's worth trying to come in before pit road closes for the end of the stage. You're most likely just going to go a lap down. And even 2 laps on older tires, it's a huge difference. Tires are just so important here. And especially with what we think the fuel strategy is not really going to be much of a factor, that's what you're going to have to rely on here. And it's not going to be until that final stage when it's up in the air as to when anyone might take their last set that we're really going to see anybody trying anything out of the ordinary, I think.
Good battle going on right now. You got GT RSR getting past Zach Schrittenthal. Now Matthew Rush in the 11, trying to get himself in position to get by this 2 as the 14 now clears the 2 down the back straightaway here. And you can see even directly ahead of that, the 81 John Willett, they're trying to make the pass on Nolan Potter there for the 10th position.
It just goes to show, I'm trying to keep track of exactly how many laps these guys were able to sit side by side before anybody's able to make it a definitive pass. Looked like John Willett there just a little bit too hot maybe on the inside, had to get out of it as we see GT make the move to the inside of the 81 down into 1 here. Great positioning for GT. He's charging forward in a hurry. If he makes this pass, that's up 10 from the start of the race.
Yeah, 10 positions possibly here as he's going to try to clear this 81. He does. John Willett off of 2. Now he's up to 11th, and guess what? He's only 1 position out of the points now here for the stage, with this time by going to be 9 to go here in the stage. So he has the possibility. It's a good little gap from Nolan Potter there to Travis Everett, but he has a chance to go up here and maybe snack himself a few points.
Oh yeah, there's potential here for quite a few more points for GT. He's got to be able to get around the 34 Nolan Potter relatively quickly to have a chance to really latch onto the draft of his teammate and maybe pounce on some of those guys in that group of about 3 or 4 cars ahead of him to pick up a couple more points.
Points. Need as many as you can get when it comes to championship racing. So got to get all you can here to get into these playoffs. Right on board there we were with the 88 Trevor Massetti. It looks like he's battling with Travis Everett. Looks like Everett going to be able to make his move past the points leader to move himself up to that 8th position. Even Dylan Reed up from 13th to 7th. Dylan Reed's starting to really charge forward in the 131 also. So seeing some great stuff all over this racetrack. But I tell you what, while all this has been going on, leader Cody McCauley has been flying. But I tell you what, the 2nd and 3rd place man of Kevin Giadricic and Curtis Preston have started to claw a little bit of time back to that 62, as we see that 62 each and every week. When he gets out front, he's just a rocket ship for the first 20 to 30 laps. And
with this format, Zach, for stage racing, it's not necessarily a bad thing because you've only really got, long, short to middle length runs, and you can afford to come out and burn up the tires, and it's going to work out really well for stage points. And banking those stage points each and every week is huge, as we've seen last season. It may not end up with a bunch of victories for the 62, which ideally you'd want to lock yourself into the playoffs, especially this early in the season. It really takes a lot of pressure off your shoulders, but it's not that bad of a strategy to maybe give up some points at the end of the race and potentially wins to secure 20 bonus points nearly each and every week just on your speed for the stages.
Curtis Preston here putting pressure on Kevin Giadricic now for that 2nd position. This is what Cody McCauley likes to see in his rearview mirror, as we'll have 6 to go this time. Curtis Preston going down the inside of the 9 of Kevin Giadricic. What a battle these two are having. Very close racing. Ryan being at least a second back from these two as they battle off of 2. Looks like the outside lane going to be preferred right now to hold off for that 2nd position.
Well, looking at Cody McCauley now, he's got the 17 of Kevin Zavadil right in front of him here, and that's going to help out Kevin Giadricic. Cody McCauley's now, he's got that dirty air. The car's not rotating as much, and he's given up a little bit of time. He's going to have the benefit on the straightaways of that draft. But I think, your corner speed here, especially on the older tires, that's going to be the most important thing. And looking back now, Curtis Preston coming to the inside of the 9 here to try to make the pass into 1.
Trying to do his best to get the pass done. Looks like he will clear coming off of turn 2. Curtis Preston up to that 2nd position, last season's champion, starting to round into form here into the 3rd race of this season. So up to 2nd already, but I tell you what, Macaulay having a tough time passing this lap car of Kevin Zabaldil. Kevin is trying to do his best to stay on the lead lap here. He knows the stage is coming soon, and he's trying to do his best here just to stay in front of this 62 because he should get the lucky dog still, Brandon, but he'll have to start at the tail end of the longest line, and it's just, it makes everything tougher with getting the lucky dog instead of just staying on the lead lap. But I think Macaulay going to try to push through this time.
Well, and like you said, that's the biggest thing. He's not going to give up a lot of track position if he can fight and stay on the lead lap here. The biggest thing is Cody Macaulay's got to be very careful not to get too much into a battle with a lap down car, maybe get some damage, have something happen. The worst thing would be the damage, like stuff like that. Just a little bit, maybe not so aggressive on a lap car and put yourself in a dangerous position so early in the race. At the most, staying behind him, you're going to lose a bit of time to the guys behind you. But it could cost you a whole lot more, especially, knowing the situation the 17's in here, where he's going to be fighting pretty hard to stay on this lead lap.
Yeah, the 17 is he crossed the leader back over. Now the leader back to the inside here, but doesn't clear exactly there. He does now clear, now pull up in front of that 17. The 17 goes back to the bottom. I'm telling you what, this racing right here, Curtis Preston is licking his chops. And he's saying, I love this right now.
Yeah, this has allowed Curtis Preston and Kevin Jadrosich to close in about a second over the course of maybe 2 laps while this battle's been going on.
Yeah, and the car really benefited from this the most, like you said, was Curtis Preston, but also Ryan Bean. He's closed up on Kevin Jadrosich, and he may be able to get up to 3rd. But I tell you what, next time by is going to be the white flag for stage number 1. And Curtis Preston within a half a second now. And Kevin Zabaldil, he's clearly trying to hold on to this lead lap.
I think Cody Macaulay has seen exactly how much time this has cost him. His biggest thing now, I think, is just focus on not letting Curtis get around you. Don't worry about the lap car. Just don't put yourself in a position where you're leaving a door for Curtis Preston to walk on through and get the stage win.
It's impressive to see Kevin Zabaldil hold him off like this, too. This is boding well for that 17 speed, personally.
I think more so that this is an example of how huge of a factor the dirty air is. That a lap down car could hold the leader up this much.
It could be. The white flag is out, though, already. They're going down to 3 and 4 for the final time. I don't think Curtis Preston's going to be able to get there. But I tell you what, it was a valiant effort. And that just shows dirty air, very tough here at this Auto Club Speedway here as the checker flag will come out for stage number 1. And Cody Macaulay will be your stage winner. Looks like you're going to be Curtis Preston at 2nd position. 3rd is going to go to Kevin Jadrosich. 4th is Ryan Bean. 5th will go to Brock Potter. 6th, Dylan Reed. 7th is going to be Michael Sheffield. 8th there is Travis Everett. 9th, Trevor Massetti. And 10th to Nolan Potter. So GT Rosario, that 11th place man, first man missing out on stage points, but he did gain 10 positions through that first stage. So definitely going to have a better track position and a better run to this next stage. So we'll have to see who can get themselves in there for stage number 2, but congrats to the stage 1 points getters. And these guys will head down here to pit road, and then we'll get a talking with Cody Macaulay here and see what his thoughts are on winning stage number 1, Brandon.
Yeah, going back to GT real quick, Zach, that's, he missed out on the stage points, but if he can have a repeat in stage number 2, that'll put him up to about 2nd place. So, big picture in mind here for GT, and he always seems to finish pretty strong at the end of these races. So he's definitely in contention here. Just really good track position to start this 2nd stage with fresh tires, and I'm sure he's going to be taking full advantage of that.
Yeah, very true there. I think he definitely had to use his stuff up to get to there. So I think he just didn't have a chance there possibly to get that final position to get into that stage. But like you said, he made up a lot of ground, so he'll have better track position here. Now, if he can make up 10 positions in the next stage, he'll be doing something because like they say, next person you pass, it gets a little bit harder and harder and harder and harder. So it's going to be tough, but we know GT, very fierce competitor out there on the racetrack, and it'll be fun to watch. I tell you that much. But here comes Cody Macaulay going to lead these guys down the pit road. Everyone get them some Sunoco full fuel and 4 fresh tires.
Yeah, we'd hope everybody would take fresh tires this pit stop. If you decide to try to gamble to save a set for later in the race, I think that's going to absolutely cost you. I've made that mistake here, just being off sequence, and you end up a lap down pretty quick. So I imagine everybody's going to be taking those 4 fresh tires. And I got to point out that the fact that Kevin Zabladil was able to keep on the lead lap allows Rusty Modesty to gain back 1 of his 2 laps. So he's still got potential to gain a few more positions before this thing's over.
Well, I'll tell you what, Rusty's the biggest fan of Kevin then. He definitely enjoyed him staying on the lead lap. That, like you said, gives him 1 back. But here these guys exit pit road. And they're going to bring the cars back out to the racetrack as they got 4 fresh tires. But now we'll bring up our stage 1 winner, Cody McCauley, is he's still on the pole, won stage 1. Let's see what his thoughts are on here and winning stage number 1 here.
Hey, Cody, it's Brandon up in the booth. How you doing?
Good, man. Really good now. Got a stage win.
Yeah, man, bringing home the pole award, then coming out here and not giving up the lead for the first stage. Got yourself a nice 10 bonus points. And I gotta ask, you know, we watched the battle where you caught the 17, tried to put him a lap down, and it looked like he just was able to hold you up so much just by being ahead of you. How bad was the dirty air while trying to get around him?
Oh, really, really bad. Dirty air, you know, tied with the tires. It didn't help things. It was a bad scenario for everybody. You know, kind of understand where he was at, trying to stand the lead lap. At the same time, you know, we do have a lucky dog. I feel like he could have let over, you know, let us go. About cost us the stage win, but is what it is. It's part of racing. We'll move on to the next stage and focus on trying to win this race.
Well, you bring on the topic of the next stage, and it leads to my next question. You know, are you going to be approaching this stage any different? Because it doesn't look like you really had to do too much to bring home this stage win.
No, probably just save a little more tire. We didn't do bad that last run. Just we could have saved a little more. That way, if we do get in another situation where we get hung up by a lap car, we've got some rubber left in the car to make a move to the high side or try to keep it pinched down low. So we'll see how it works out. There's a lot of fast cars behind us. I already tell Curtis is going to give us a run for our money tonight. Kevin's strong as usual, so ought to be fun, man. Just look forward to getting this race over.
Well, you guys coming around for the green flag here for stage number 2. We'll let you get back down there and wish you the best of luck. And, you know, like I always say, hopefully we'll talk to you at the end of the stage or at the end of this thing.
For sure. Appreciate it, guys.
All right, there you heard it from the stage winner, Cody McCauley from stage number 1, pulling home that victory. And I tell you what, look at the leader, Brandon. Kevin Zabladil. So he stayed on the lead lap and stayed out. So he has decided to save tires, but I don't understand how he's going to make it on fuel is my issue for him.
Well, it looks like he pit on lap 3 and topped off, but he's definitely down on fuel compared to the rest of these guys. The biggest thing here, he didn't take tires, so he's going to lose a lot of positions, but he's starting from the front. He's got the huge benefit of being able to latch onto the draft for quite a while before he really loses pace with everybody else. But like you said, the biggest issues on fuel is he takes us back to green.
Yeah, he takes us back to green, launches off the 17s and off and away. Kevin Zabladil leading us back to this green flag. Here's Curtis Preston trying to get to the inside of that 62 of Cody McCauley here and keep that battle in check. Here as he comes up to that quarter pound, pulls them back, and they go down to turn 1. Curtis Preston going to make the pass for second here and see if he can control this race.
A little wiggle out of Curtis Preston there, center 1 and 2, allowed Cody McCauley to really get to the inside there, open the door. Now they've got to try to navigate this slower car.
Yes, they do. Going down to the bottom lane. Here comes Cody McCauley to the back bumper. Kevin Zabaldil. But guess what? The motor tires holding that 62 up. Here comes the 62 to the bottom lane, making the pass down on the exit. But Curtis Preston used the availability of that outside lane to his advantage and goes around that 17 as the rest of his field tries to work their way past Kevin.
Well, looking at, we talked to Cody McCauley. He said he wasn't exactly the happiest about the way that Kevin was racing him as he was the leader. And I think that might have been strike 2 in the notebook for Cody McCauley there. Just held him up quite a bit. And now they finally got around him. And a little bit of a bottleneck here back for the 4th to 6th position, looks like. And this is the biggest danger, is navigating a car that's just a little bit slower. It's really easy for guys to run up on him, run him over, and not even see a checkup coming or a wreck. And big one strikes again.
Yeah, I tell you what, Kevin Giadrich got the worst end of that deal. He got caught right behind the 17, and he went straight backwards from there. And yeah, man, he lost a lot of positions there, all the way back to the 7th position now for that number 9 after running in the top 3.
And the biggest beneficiary of it was the 131 of Dylan Reed, who's now up to 3rd position, right behind his teammate Cody McCauley. So could see some teammate action here to get by Curtis Preston, and should see some bump drafting down the straightaway.
You very well could, my friend. But I tell you what, that's one person you got to watch out for is that 131 of Dylan Reed. He's always a strong driver, and we got to watch to see what his pace is now that he gets up into his top positions here. As we look back at the 93 of Dustin Stones here, running in, I believe, the 26th position at the moment, directly ahead of Randy Cornwell.
Well, Zach, got to point out, looking at the scoring here, it looks like there's only 2 drivers on the track that have not moved from their starting position this race. The first of them would be the 27 of Marc-Andre Thibodeau, who is in 36th. But the 25 of Ryan Bean started 4th, still running 4th, even through all that calamity on this last restart. He has been incredibly consistent this race.
He really has, and I tell you what, at the end of the last run, he was getting to the back bumper of Kevin Giadricic and starting to give him a little pressure. So we got to watch for that 25. He had some good pace there. He could possibly be one to watch out for here in that final stage where we have a little bit longer of a run.
Yeah, absolutely. Just kind of sizing everybody up, and it's easy to save a little bit when you've got a massive tow like he has with 3 cars ahead of him. But directly behind him, teammates of Michael Sheffield and Travis Everett, they were bump drafting down the front stretch last time by. So they're looking to make a push here for this top 4 position.
Yes, they are trying to move their way up. But look at Tony Ludi here. He's got the 3 of Bob Fitzpatrick coming to his outside. The 93 of Dustin Stallings up ahead of him directly. Here's Kevin Zabladil, who started on that front row, dropping back quickly with them older tires. He should have to hit pit road in the matter of probably the next 5 to 10 laps, Brandon.
Yeah, it's not going to take much longer. Unfortunately, it seems like he spread the field out quite a bit. And the biggest thing is that when he pits, he's going to have fresher tires than everybody else, but he's not going to have the benefit of the draft like the entire rest of the field does. So it's going to be a tall order for him to make up a lot of time and catch back up to the end of this lead pack. And he very well could go a lap down.
That's something he'll not want to see there as Kip Easy climbing the 24. Tell you what, too, now up front, Cody McCauley starting to get to the back bumper of Curtis Preston. Can he work that dirty air over and get by this 29? We'll have to see. But at the moment, pretty much single file around this racetrack here at the Auto Club Speedway. Great racing, though, we've seen so far. These guys are putting on one heck of a show through the first 40 laps of this event.
Absolutely. And, you know, talking to Cody McCauley, he said that the dirty air was huge, plus compacted with those old tires. We're going to get a really good showing here with this battle for the lead as to how bad the dirty air is on relatively fresh tires. If it's going to matter a whole lot or if it's just going to be a struggle throughout the entire run.
That's something we'll have to see. Dirty air is definitely a huge factor when it comes to this racing out here, man. But we want to make sure to thank everybody out there for tuning in here tonight on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Hit us up out there in the chats and let us know how you're doing tonight. And also hit that like, that follow, that share, that subscribe, that notify button so you can always be up to date here with Freaky Fast Broadcasting and the Evolution Racing Leagues. So we always got these guys here on our Mondays, Tuesdays, and definitely a blast to have them. So make sure you follow, and you can keep up here with everybody on the Freaky Fast Broadcasting. You can also go to our Facebook page at Freaky Fast Broadcasting, where you can check out our giveaway we got going on right now with ButtKicker. And it's a really cool giveaway we got going on there. You can win yourself a ButtKicker LFE. So definitely go check that out and sign up for that. And very easy to do. And you can possibly be a special winner here. We got GT Arizari there battling with Zach Schrittenthal now, moving himself up possibly to the 9th position as they're side by side here in 3 and 4.
It's taken GT a little bit to gain those 2 positions from the start, the restart of this stage, and Zach Schrittenthal not making it easy, hanging out just on the right rear wheel of GT. And it looks like the outside lane is just not quite the place to be yet during this run. Inside lane still able to run really well as we see GT just kind of sail it off in there and then just carry a lot more momentum than the two of Zach Schrittenthal.
Yeah, doing a great job here with this battle. He's going to be able to get that past them, but look at this behind there. The battle ensues here, too, with the 81 there. And also got Nathan Campbell directly behind Nolan Potter battling with John Willett. So it's battles all around again ensuing around this racetrack. And I tell you what, these guys are fighting dirty air and they're fighting each other at the same time. And also shout out to Andy out there. He says he's rooting on his cousin, Marc-Andre Thibodeau from Canada. So shout out to you, Andy, for tuning in here tonight. Also, Kevin Dowd. And thank you, yeah, buddy. Great racing out there for yourself tonight in the ARCA race. Thank you for tuning in here to the Cup Series. So far right now, what did you miss, really? Cody McCauley winning stage number 1. We had one incident on lap 1, and then pretty much from there, we've had green side-by-side, 3 wide, 4 wide racing around this racetrack.
Absolutely. It's been really close racing and getting spread out again. I don't know if it's just the cooler track temps with it being a night race here at Auto Club, but not quite as much of a side-by-side pack racing as I've come to expect from this racetrack.
I tell you what, guys, we're looking at Junior Miller here in the 28 as he runs through this field here. I tell you what, Curtis Preston right now, he has got pressure out the yin-yang here from Cody McCauley. He is all over the back bumper of this 29. I tell you what, the 29 even shut the door on him going into 1 last time, and that 62 was almost there. So this battle is heating up, and I tell you what, they had a pretty spicy battle in the truck race the other night. So this is definitely something that could be carrying over here a little bit possible.
Well, it looks like Cody McCauley he's realized how bad that dirty air is, and he's trying to set up to get the momentum off the corner. Ooh, we got a caution in the back.
Oh, our second or Nissan Central caution. About to see exactly what happened here. Looks like Andrew Little possibly involved. We're back here on the Freaky Fast replay and see exactly what happened. Looks like the 21 of David Hall here. Oh, getting into the back of the 68. Just on that left rear quarter panel as they went to 1. That's going to send the 68 of Andrew Little around, and they're going to go directly into that outside wall with some pretty heavy contact to those race cars.
Well, kind of the same thing we saw in the ARCA race just a little while ago. Doesn't take much contact at that area of the car. Even with how much side force these Cup cars have, it will snap the back end around really quick, just a tiny little bump. So unfortunate for David Hall and Andrew Little.
Yeah, unfortunate contact between those two. Definitely going to hurt those race cars. But man, oh man, I tell you what, they're this first 48 laps here, and we'll get a nice little bumper cam. And you can see just to the back bumper of that 68 and off center also. It was such a light hit that it was just off center, and that's just going to send you around. And then from here, the 68 of Andrew Little is just saying, oh no.
At that point, you're just along for the ride. I mean, you can't really try to save it, especially considering David Hall was right up against his driver's door the whole way into the fence. There's really not much you can do.
Yeah, unfortunate contact there as we're coming by this time the complete lap 48. So we have 12 to go in stage number 1 before we go back green flag racing. So this is going to get even spicier. The thing is also is, do you come down and waste that set of tire, that extra set of tires that you have? Because these guys should have 2 left in their stall. It looks like we will have some people electing to pit. Looks like the 68 Andrew Little, who was involved in that last wreck, David Hall, also Rusty Modesty, James Courtrone, and I believe also Kevin Zabladil. He'll take his first set. Remember, he stayed. So that's actually worked out now. Kevin Zabladil is going to be on a fresh set of tires that nobody else has.
He didn't take the tires.
He did. Maybe he took a set accidentally on that third stop when he topped off, Brandon.
If I remember correctly, when I looked at it, Zach, he had a really short pit stop time for the very first stop as well. I don't think he took tires.
Yeah,
I think
he didn't.
He's trying to save an extra set over everybody else, or maybe 2 for the end of this race. I thought for sure if he took tires here, he's got 10 laps. Well, that's the thing. It's only 10 laps. He's able to stay on the lead lap for 10 laps. even running slower with those older tires.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see what he can do there now. But great show here so far. Thank you everybody tuning in, and we want to see a 5-ride race to the finish like that ARCA series. Yeah, that was wild. If you missed the ARCA race, make sure you go check that out on Freak Fast Broadcasting's our videos there, because that was a wild finish there in the ARCA Evolution series. And I wouldn't doubt it. This Cup series usually it's definitely usually is it's tough to go after that Arc Evolution series. Those guys put on a show down there, but then these guys come out and say, all right, we're ready. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of the things that's really, really cool to see. You also got people thanking us for broadcasting. We thank you. And you love watching your boyfriend race. That's awesome. And we love broadcasting everybody out here and showing this great racing out here on the racetrack.
Zach, I caught some interesting radio transmissions there from the 17 saying he's still out on old tires, has not taken a set yet. To give you an idea of how important these tires are, fans, the wear on his tires, his right front was less than 20%.
Ooh.
And he is that far off the pace.
He's definitely going to have to be conserving to make it to the end of that stage. He's got to be careful here, because you push that tire too far, you let that tire go, and you will have an issue.
Honestly, Zach, I'm liking this call. He's not in really any danger. The most danger he's in is from a wreck in front of him. But going a lap down, he's not going to go a lap down in 10 laps. So he's going to come into this next stage, take tires, and it's going to be his first set. He's going to have a huge advantage over the rest of the field for the rest of this race if they get good time cautions that work well for his strategy.
We'll have to see how his strategy works out. Pace car going to pull in this time. Curtis Preston going to lead us back. Green flag racing. Here is the green. He has a great jump over the rest of the field. Can Dylan Reed get to the inside of teammate Cody McCauley, with Ryan being there, possibly looking to go to the middle? He's going to decide not to, as you got Travis Everett on the outside, also in the 59 last week's winner. And you got Michael Sheffield in the picture, also with Kevin G. Addersich.
Well, now we've got a couple cars up here at the front, getting side by side. We'll have to see exactly which lane is preferred here. The outside on the first corner of a restart generally seems to be where you want to be. And now, Cody McCauley gave up that second position to his teammate, the 131 of Dylan Reed. And now Dylan Reed making a hard charge after the 29. It's going to be hard pressed for the 29 of Curtis Preston to hold these guys off. If he can bring home this stage win, that'll be a great feat.
That it will be. I'll tell you what, it's going to be very close down to the wire. 9 to go here. Dylan Reed, we know how good he is at saving tires and waiting to the last moment to make his move. Let's see if he can do it this time. He's got a little bit of pressure from teammate Cody McCauley here, but Cody McCauley now electing to push him down this back straightaway. We're going to see a big run from this 131 down to 3.
And Curtis Preston, he's leaving the inside open. They just can't quite get there, and I like that move. Tires are a little bit worn in now, and side by side, the outside, I think, is where you're going to want to be to hold them off.
Yeah, I think if someone gets to your outside here at this point with these tires, it's going to be hard to hold that person off. Unless they just overdrive it, that inside lane is going to be tough to make passes.
Yeah, especially trying to sail it off into the inside when you've got such a head of steam from the draft ahead of you, plus your teammate pushing behind you. And also directly behind Cody McCauley is the 59 of Travis Everett, teammate to Curtis Preston, who's looking to get up here and maybe take second and possibly challenge his teammate for the stage win.
Yeah, Travis Everett last week's winner at Homestead. Remember how well he did. He also won a stage there. So he's been a very strong contender throughout this whole entire season. If you hop on board with him, now you see directly ahead of him Cody McCauley, Dylan Reed, and Curtis Preston here as they cross the line this time. We'll have 7 to go here in stage number 2.
Well, seeing a question out on Facebook from Andy, is it inboard view for all drivers? Yes, on iRacing, the only view that you have available to you as driving is directly behind the steering wheel. I don't know if Robert can go on board with maybe Cody McCauley or Dylan Reed to show exactly what that looks like, but everybody's on the same playing field and has the same view.
Yes, sir. Just like you're driving the car, here's a great shot here from Cody McCauley here. We're getting the onboard cockpit runners in that third position. this is the driver's view. Depending on field of view, it can change, but this is pretty much the gist of what you would see out here in this race car going around this two-mile racetrack here at the Auto Club Speedway.
Yep, it's a lot harder than it looks. You know, it's like, okay, well, you know, you just sit behind the steering wheel, no problem, but your view is so limited. It depends on a number of things. You know, your field of view, whether you've got single monitor, a triple monitor, or a VR setup. There's a lot of things you can do to improve your view, but there's still a lot of restrictions being able to see the cars around you.
Oh yes, you can go down the rabbit hole with sim racing. What you can do, so you know, you can get almost as close as a possibility without the G forces in the heat. So gotta shout out to iRacing for that and thank them for building this amazing simulation. Make sure if you haven't checked out iRacing, you should go check them out at iRacing.com and give them a shot. You know, they got some great base content that you don't even need to buy. All you need is a subscription. You get some great base content just to start out with and see if you enjoy it. That's the big thing. A lot of people dive headfirst in and buy all this stuff, and then they find out that it's not something they want to do. What you need to do is go out there, try it, and then you never know, you may love this. It's a lot of people's favorite hobby to do, and I can tell you what, it's a very fun time. So make sure you go check out iRacing.com. But now let's see who wins stage number 2 here tonight, as we got 4 to go in stage number 2.
GT making a strong run on Ryan Bean there, just about got to his inside. Ryan Bean shut the door. GT making really good progress, not quite the progress he made during stage 1, but still in the top 10 here to gain some extra stage points and setting himself up for a really good starting position for this final extended stage at the end of this race, where really I would always say that that's really what you plan for. The first 2 stages is to set yourself up with a really good opportunity to have good track position to make a run for the final stage.
Yeah, you know, this has been so interesting, Brandon. We've seen Curtis Preston get out front, and ever since he's got out front, it's been the Curtis Preston show. I mean, you know, we've had guys close, Cody McCauley close, but Curtis Preston easily holding on to the lead here with less than 3 laps to go. And I tell you what, it's impressive to see that clean air really be used to the full extent for him.
And this is why I say that the restarts with the fresh tires, it's going to be hectic, because you have to go. You can't afford to sit back like you would at a lot of other tracks and try to conserve in the beginning and make long run pace, because even if you have the long run pace, we saw it with Cody McCauley in the lap car, the dirty air just slows you down so much. It changes the balance of the car, and your speed's gone. The biggest advantage here is just being the leader.
Looking at this battle right here, it looks like GT Azari was able to get past Ryan Bean, move himself up to the 6th position. So from 11th to 6th this stage, can he move forward 1 more position? We got a lap and a half to go here at the Auto Club Speedway for stage number 2 at the RSR Cup Series. We'll see if GT Azari can continue his charge to the front, because he's been slowly, methodically working his way through this field here tonight.
Yeah, really good effort out of that 14 from a subpar starting position that's a bit out of the ordinary for him. But he's showing that it doesn't matter where he starts as long as you're there at the end.
1 lap to go here in stage number 2. Curtis Preston pulled out to a 7/10 of a second lead here over the 131 of Dylan Reed. He is last season's Cup Series champion, and he is showing that form here tonight as he goes down the back straightaway for the final time in stage number 2.
That's a good statement after some unfortunate races to start this season, especially Daytona put them way behind in the points, but come out here and grab 10 bonus points for winning stage number 2 at Auto Club.
And there he does cross the finish line. Curtis Preston is your stage 2 winner here tonight at the RSR Cup Series, as the Ora Nissan Central caution will wave for the stage here tonight. Congrats to Curtis Preston. 2nd's going to go to Dylan M. Reed. 3rd is going to be Cody McCauley. 4th is going to be Kevin G. Agrisich. 5th, there is Travis Everett. 6th is going to be GT Irizarry. 7th, Ryan Bean. 8th, Michael Sheffield. 9th will go to points leader Trevor Massetti. And 10th will be Brock Potter. As I tell you what, so far, this first couple stages are shaping up to be track position, I feel like, for this final stage, Brandon.
Absolutely. I think, you know, GT's in a perfect position here. He's used his tires a lot to get where he is. But the fact that he's got such good starting position, he still may even gain more positions during this pit stop before the start of the final stage. He doesn't have to push nearly as hard. He can be a lot more methodical, and if we're off in our estimation of their fuel window, he might be able to play some strategy and maybe do an undercut here, come out and just hold on long enough.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that all works through the final stage of this race. But man, they're going to hit pit road here. I think the rest of these guys are going to be on the similar strategy where they're going to take tires here and they're going to hope it goes green to the end pretty much from there on out.
The one driver that's not hoping that it goes green would be the 17 with his extra set of tires from some bold strategy and pointing out he did not fall a lap down during those last 10 laps. So this could pay off very big for the 17 of Kevin Zabladil.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, you know, what he can do with that extra set exactly. You know, these guys are going to be taking their second set of the race, which will be technically their third. So they'll have one set left in the pits while he'll have three, or actually two still left in the pits. So yeah, that's, ooh, that's interesting to see.
And Randy Cornwell looking like he's staying out to lead a lap.
These guys are going to hit pit road, see who wins the race off. Then we'll have a chat with our stage winner, Curtis Preston, here as you see him jacking up the right sides of those cars first. Right sides go down. Crew members run around to the other side, jack the left side up, and they will be off and away as they drop that left front. And Curtis Preston will win the race off pit road after that stage win. So congrats to Curtis Preston. Let's pull him up here and have a chat and see what his thoughts are on winning stage number 2 here tonight. And here's your stage winner, Curtis Preston.
Hey, Curtis, it's Brandon up in the booth. You got a copy?
Sure do. How you doing tonight, Brandon?
Doing pretty good, man. I imagine you're doing a lot better. Coming home with the stage 2 win tonight. You know, we were a bit worried. I don't know about Zach, but I was a bit worried during that stage after the last caution with the 2 teammates getting hooked up behind you. And you were able to hold them off pretty well. It seems like the place to be is just in the lead.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Clean air matters big time tonight. That first stage, we got behind the 9 there and just kind of waited him out till the tires fell off and got around him. And he just had too much out there on us, couldn't do nothing with him. And then we got clean air there, and it felt like a different car.
Well, hopefully, you know, starting this final stage with tremendous track position, going to be rolling off number 1 for the restart. You know, what's the game plan here? Are you guys, you know, it's something we've questioned. Do you guys have enough fuel that you can make it to the end of this this final stage?
Yeah, I think everybody's good on fuel. Should be able to make it. Kind of hoping it goes long green here. I'd like to see it go green to the finish. I feel like we got real good long run pace here. Tires are looking good for us, so hopefully we can keep it out front here.
Well, best of luck to you, bud, and hopefully you can pounce on this stage victory with a race victory, and we'll get to talk to you at the end of this thing.
All right, thanks, guys. Enjoy the rest of the race.
All right, that was your stage 2 winner, Curtis Preston, last season's champion in the 29, and that Jim Beam black car, very pretty, I must say. And hey, he's been running it since the beginning too. I can look and see that car, and I know it's Curtis Preston.
Yeah.
What he said.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to see. Remember, GT started 11th up to 6th. So he was able to move up 5 spots there. If he moves up another 5 spots, that's the lead. So we've seen his slow creep through the field. Let's see if he can pull something off here, as we'll have pretty much, hopefully, like Curtis Preston said, we might see green to the end here as the pace car pulls in. And we'll get ready to head back. Green flag races. The green flag is out. And Curtis Preston leads us off and away in the 29 machine, leading Dylan Reed with Cody McCauley there in the 3rd position with Travis Everett pushing him.
It looks like that restart caught a few people sleeping. Big gap between a lot of guys. And Ooh, Travis Everett with a little wiggle on the inside there in that third position can open the door for Dylan Reed. But Cody McCauley looking to charge right out of the gate here and challenge Curtis Preston for his lead back.
Yeah, and I think this is crucial here, Brandon. This is the time to go because we've seen the clean air. We've seen how valuable it is. Cody McCauley, they're using it in stage 1. Curtis Preston using it in stage 2. Now we're in the final stage of this race. Cody McCauley decided, I want that lead back. I'm taking it. And now Curtis Preston in the second position with teammate Travis Everett there directly behind with the 131 of Dylan Reed on the high side.
Well, and with the dirty air, there are things that you can do to combat that, but it takes a number of laps to do, and it may come down to a point in the race where there's just not enough time to really slowly set that pass up. Backing up the corner a little bit earlier, getting a faster run off to really close up on their bumper by the time you get to the next set of corners to make a move. If you try to stay with them through the center of the corner, they're just going to gain a lot more momentum off the corner and eventually pull away.
I tell you what, our top 6 drivers right now, of those top 6, we have 2 teams. We have the Curtis Preston 29, the 59 of Travis Everett, and the 6 of GT Irizarry. All 3 teammates on Slide Job Racing. Then you have Cody McCauley, our leader here. Then you have Dylan Reed in the 131 and the 9 of Kevin Giadricic, and they're the Elite Racing Group. And these 2 teams right now having a great night. And I tell you what, it's going to be those 2 teams, I think, when it all comes down to it for this ending.
Well, it's looked like it so far in this race that those are going to be the teams to beat. They've been. Ooh, so we got a caution. I believe in 3 and 4.
Oh no, got our Orange Nissan Central caution going out here. I believe the 18 of Randy Cornwell having some trouble in that 18 machine. We'll have to check out and see exactly what happened to him here on the Freaky Fast replay. See, he goes down to 3 and 4. Oh, a little contact between, I believe, him, the 78 of Kevin Sabilla. Similar to what we've seen a couple times in this race. And there goes the 18 around. I believe, does anybody else? Ooh, the 93 of Dustin Stone's barely making a little contact. That's going to shoot the 18 up high into the wall. He's going to try to throw the rear end around. Does he miss the wall? I believe he does. Wow, what a job from him to not hit anything. That was great for him, actually. That could have been way worse there, Brandon.
Oh, absolutely. Not often you get turned around and come out of it with really next to no damage. See the cowl on the left front of that car is a little, the seams are showing a little bit, but fender doesn't look too bent up. Splitter's still really good, and still got a decent shot at it here. Unfortunately, he's back in the pack now, and we talked about how important track position is, but you got to be in the race to win it.
Now my question is, how long do these guys have to go on tires before they elect to use that last set? I don't think you're going to see leaders come down this time, but when does that happen, you think?
I'm thinking about at least lap 80. Anything after that, anything before that, you're just risking way too much.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there. It's just asking too much out of the tires, I think. And whoa, Cody McCauley hits pit road in the 62 and gives up the lead. That's an interesting call, I must say, and his teammates did not do the same call. So, and it looks like they were electing to do it, and then they decided other. And man, oh man, he is the only one to come down pit road.
And he's taking
he's
tires.
going backwards. Yeah. I mean, might as well now. He has to. With all the track position again, he's got to have something different in that 62. Interesting call there on the box, I'm sure.
My thought was going to be that he was going to put some fuel in it, get a little bit better turn out of it, and that'll kind of negate the effect of the dirty air a little bit. He's got the pace, but even then, he's still got so many cars that he's going to have to race to get back up to the front. He's going to chew up the tires, and it's not going to work out too well. He's still not going to be able to turn, but taking that last set now, going all the way to the back, maybe he's thinking guys can't make it to the end, or that they're just going to elect to take tires under green if it goes green, but I certainly wouldn't be coming in to take tires under green flag.
I say that's one of the riskiest calls we've seen, for sure. That's a huge risk. I mean, I don't even know if I could see him driving through this whole entire field, Brandon. I mean, he's got to start almost in the 36th position.
Yeah, it's a very tall order. You know, especially when the guys get really single filed out and you try to jump out to make the pass, but the tow that they're getting from the guys in front of them, it makes it really hard, even with the momentum that you're carrying, to stay side by side long enough to make the move into the next set of corners. And then you've also got to worry about, you know, being patient with guys that are side by side, not making too aggressive moves. And then if something happens in front of you, don't get bit by it. There's just so much that can go wrong here.
Yeah, it's such a risky call. Like I said, I didn't think any of the leaders would pit. I was thinking, you know, that decision would have happened really from the 15th position on back. You know, because that just puts a lot of risk and management involved into that decision. And I mean, we've seen it in the Truck Series. Cody McCauley's done this before. They've made interesting decisions on that pit box to pit in certain situations that most people have not. And we've seen it play out for him a couple times, but most of the time it's come back to hurt him. We'll have to see what happens. If he can come back from this, that'll be one heck of a storyline.
Yeah, I mean, especially with just how prevalent the draft has been here, it's not the easiest thing to break away. We've seen him break away, but that was on a much shorter run when it was a lot more acceptable to go out here and just burn up the tires knowing there's going to be a caution pretty soon.
Yes, it is. 62 Cody McCauley. We're starting the 33rd position, but the pace car are going to pull in this time as Curtis Preston's going to lead us back. Green flag racing here to start. Well, actually, not to start stage number, the final stage, but to continue the final stage here with 29 laps to go for the rest of this race.
Man, and teammates, a little bit of a bump there to Travis Everett from GT. Teammates were nose to tail going into turn 1 there. It looks like now GT's kind of put himself in a little bit of a precarious predicament here. Got the 88 of Trevor Massetti all over the rear bumper of that 14.
Oh man, back here with Cody McCauley. It's 3 wide. Randy Cornwell. You got Kevin Seville back here. Andrew Little. Multiple cars back here, almost 4 wide at some points. This racing back here is intense, and I tell you what, Cody McCauley is definitely in the Hornets. That's here the exits off of Ford. This could definitely be an interesting situation for our pole setter here tonight on stage number 1 winner.
And the biggest problem that's going on right here for that 62 is that huge gap. Ooh, GT to Randy
right beside him. Ooh, what a save from Randy Cornwell. He got a little bump. I believe that was from the 17 of Kevin Zabladil.
And that was almost exactly what we talked about. You put yourself in a really dangerous position, and that could have swiftly bit the 62 on that strategy call. But what I was saying, and it seems like it's kind of fixed itself. He's within the distance now to pick up that draft. But he was almost left with clean track ahead of him here to where he just couldn't reel in the guys in the lead pack.
The Kool-Aid Man had an issue there, Michael Martino. Unfortunate for him, he said, oh no, and this pack is driving away. But I tell you what, up front now too, this is back here for the, I believe this is the 35th position right now. Marc-Andre Thibodeau, we got Chad Biesinger. Oh, we got a yellow, guys. See what this is for. Looks like, oh, it looks like it was the Kool-Aid Man, Michael Martino. Oh, big hit. Oh, no, for that car. I think check it out. The Freaky Fast replay here brought to you by or Nissan Central. Oh, and there goes the 75. And I wish I had the sound effect of the Kool-Aid Man. I'm sorry, Michael Martino, because he was trying to bust through the wall there.
Yeah, I was going to say sometimes, you know, the Kool-Aid Man, when he wants to burst down walls, there's just no stopping him.
Unfortunately, that was a heavy hit for that 75. We'll see here on the front. There's the Kool-Aid Man. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Heavy. Heavy contact for that number 75. And now, what's the question? Do they pit now?
I think by the time we go back, it's going to be pretty close to lap 80. I wait one more. I think there's probably going to be
They're
another caution.
electing.
I wait one more.
Oh, it looks like Curtis Preston, Travis Everett, GT Irizarry, and I believe was that Sheffield. Sheffield's a slide job racing here elects to do it, but they have some takers. They do have some takers, but I think they should have waited, Brandon. I really think they should have waited.
I do too. The less time that you have in the race after you take your fresh tires, the harder you can push. This opens up the door where not only do they have to worry about the distance of the race, they can't push as hard as they would like to. But now, if there's another caution, everybody else that didn't pit still has a set, and they put themselves behind. So you've also got to keep that in the back of your mind and not push too much, and maybe have something to hold them off when they do take their fresh tires. This is it's an interesting call. Like I said before when they were coming in, I would have waited one more caution. If you get another caution after this, you absolutely come down. But I think at this point it's just a little bit too early. And pardon, fans seem to having some type of technical difficulties here trying to get that sorted out with our picture here. It's not wanting to cooperate. It's wanting to walk away.
It's just sometimes software and computers. Never know. But all this shook up everything too, Brian. We've seen Curtis Preston, GTers already really slide job racing, and a couple other cars, I believe, elect to pit. The thing is, now they're behind Macaulay, and I don't know about that. That's interesting to say. Like Macaulay really only ran a half a lap on them new tires. Now you're behind him.
Yeah, it kind of was the saving grace, I think, for Cody Macaulay here, the timing of this. As the run goes on, I think it's going to be a little bit of a disadvantage, but not as much as it could have been if they'd have gone, 5 laps even. So it kind of works out for him, but like you said, they're starting behind him, and he's going to have, especially if he can charge through the field pretty well and get back to the lead with those fresh tires. By the time everybody else catches him, they're going to have worn tires. The dirty air comes into play again, and it turns into be a really smart strategy call.
Oh man, well, we'll see how it all shakes out. But with less than 25 to go, there's still a long way to be made up for those drivers on those new tires. Macaulay now up to 19th. We'll have to see what they can do here with the fresher tires. With 24 to go, coming to 23 to go. Pace car's going to pull in this time with leader Dylan M. Reed going to take us back to the green flag here in this 131 as he won at Daytona. There it is, green flag in the air. He takes back off and heads us down to turn 1 with the 9 Kevin Giadricic on the outside, Trevor Massetti on the bottom lane.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, that's 4 teammates on the high side right now.
Yeah. That it is. It really is. The Elite Racing Group there as they, led the points standings. And they have Macaulay, their other driver, elect to do that only strategy. But guess what? The other group of drivers from Elite Racing Groups, they're all up in this battle. 3 wide here goes John de Willette under the inside of Trevor Massetti. Wow, what a move from the 81. He's going to get by, and it's going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4 for Elite Racing Group at this moment.
And it looks like Nathan Campbell in the 52 looking to take advantage of the loss of momentum from the 88 car and follow suit to the inside here for that 5th position.
Yes, they are following suit. Good teamwork there with 22 to go. We'll see if anybody has anything for these guys. But I tell you what, we're going to see some cannonballs through the field with some guys on new tires.
Well, Cody McCauley making up a pretty good time. They're strung out just a little bit, which is going to hurt his ability to chase them down in a hurry, but looking to pounce on the 31 of Casey, because he's really giving him the inside here. Looking like he's having a hard time holding the bottom. And up to 15th position now.
Yeah, I believe that'll be his 5th, or actually 14th there for him that time by. He passes Casey Cruz. He's directly behind Anthony Hughes now. That's the next on the list for that 62. I tell you what, Curtis Preston, 18th, GT Rosari 20th, Travis Everett 21st. Those are the other drivers who elected to come down pit road up here. So this is far from over, man.
Yeah, coming to 20 laps to go this time by, and there's still a lot of time for anything to happen. And let the rest of these guys that opt not to pit take tires, and it'll flip the whole game around. We will really not have an idea who's really in contention until maybe the last 10 laps. But they're fighting for it now at the front here. This whole gag car is like it is the last lap.
Wow, what a race so far. We'll have to see who can fight their way through. McCauley last time by up to the 12th position. There he is directly behind Schrittenthal. Got past Craig A. Burns and Anthony Hughes last time by. I tell you what, he's only 1.6 seconds back. So, I mean, that's the thing with this field so, strung so tight together right now. He's not too far behind the leaders, actually.
No, and it's definitely helping them the way that they're driving side by side like this and really battling. It's slowing them up and everybody else behind.
Yeah, and side by side for the lead now. Kevin Giadrich going to the outside teammate Dylan Reed in the 131. I think he's going to make the pass for the lead in that 9 down the back straightaway here with that run out of 2.
Yeah, really good move there. Carried a lot of momentum. Had a lot of room from his teammate to make that pass, and then of course his other teammate in Alex Rudolph to leave the door open to file in line here.
Looking at Anthony Hughes right now in the 54. You got Curtis Preston, GT Rosari trying to make their way through also in that 16th and 17th position. Now this will be for 14th once they get here. But man, what racing we got. Here's Brock Potter back here in the 9th position. It's definitely heating up here as Cody McCauley now passed Brock Potter also in that 62. So he's up to that 8th position, I believe.
Yeah, still a lot of time left, and the way that these guys are battling, it's cutting their momentum so much. A couple more spots, and I believe Cody McCauley's going to be in prime position here to really make a charge for the lead and pounce if they get side by side again.
Yeah, Cody McCauley charging through this field. Definitely helped him out with that caution they had there. He's going to be racing with Nolan Potter here, now up to the 9th position for Cody McCauley. Curtis Preston and GT Rosari only 14th, 15th, and 16th, also with Travis Everett there. So they're still multiple cars behind Cody McCauley, and I think it's just going to get tougher and tougher the closer they get up here.
Well, the biggest thing is that they've kind of gotten bottled down behind slower cars on the inside lane, but they've been following each other step for step. Just Curtis Preston's making a hole through traffic, and Travis Everett and GT are following him right through. Zach Schrittenthal on the wall outside of GT. That was a close call.
That it was. A 2 hitting the wall very hard, sliding back now to the 16th position for that 2 of Zach Schrittenthal. And we got another caution here. Brought to you by Ora Nissan Central, and I believe there's a car down in the grass, and I believe that's the 84 Daniel Gonzalez. So I have to go back and check out exactly what happened. I believe it might have been contact between him and 11 of Matthew Rush here to bring out our caution here, and we'll have to go check that out on the Freaky Fast replay here. Looks like we were not triggered due to, I think, the car getting spun down to that inside lane there. So, yeah, also, yeah, I believe that, yeah, so that was, yeah, definitely a caution not triggered there from our system. But, yeah, it was Daniel Gonzalez there getting some contact between him and the 11 of Matthew Rush. Now, Brandon, now I pit.
Absolutely, you pit.
Now the guys that use their tires, I feel bad for those guys.
Yeah, you've got 15 laps. You pit, and there's not going to be that many cars ahead of you compared to the group you're pitting with, especially if you're at the lead of this pack right now. And it's gloves off. Everybody is going to be going and going in a hurry.
Yeah, you're so correct about that. That's the thing, is these guys are now going to pit, and they're not really going to lose too much track position either, because we have majority of the people have waited to pit. So now the guys that have pitted will cycle to the front, but guess what? These guys won't have to restart as far back as they did, and this tire difference much larger.
Absolutely. I believe Kevin Jadricic should come out somewhere around 10th position. Maybe a little bit lower than that.
Oh, they elected not to pit the top 4 of EGR. I think that's a bad decision. The amount of time
any later
left.
than this. Yeah. There's just not enough time, especially with a field this big. A caution any later than this, you just do not have the time. You would not have given up that much track position here. And anybody in front of you would have been on older tires. This was a prime opportunity to come in and take that last set.
Very interesting. Who was the first car to hit pit road? I believe it was Trevor Massetti who was the first car to actually hit pit road. Him with Ryan Bean. Also, you had believe that was the 52 of Nathan Campbell there, with Nolan Potter directly behind. So yeah, I like the call by these guys. I think that is the call to make. We'll just have to see where Trevor Massetti and Ryan Bean cycle back out to, but I'm telling you, they're going to have a sizable tire difference now.
And look at this, with all these cars opting to pit and some not, Curtis Preston, Travis Everett, GT right on the back bumper of Cody McCauley.
Exactly that. See, this is something Cody McCauley didn't want to see. He did not want to see this caution. He wanted it to go green to see if he could catch those leaders, and I personally think he was going to.
Oh, I think he absolutely was too. Yeah, he's had a really decent advantage being the first car on fresher tires. Wasn't the freshest in the field, but was really not having a hard time passing anybody. And even when he got to the lead, those are his teammates. They're going to cut him a lot more slack than anybody else would trying to pass for the lead. And now he's not only got to pass his teammates, which they're still probably going to make it a little bit easy on him, but he's got Slide Job Racing right behind him. And they are not.
Yeah, they're not going to make it easy. That's for sure. They're going to make it as tough as possible here. I believe the pace lights will go out this time. Let's see where our first driver. So Trevor Massetti will restart in the, I believe, oh no, it's farther back than I thought, Brandon. That's 18th and 19th. That's a long way for 13 laps.
I think the fact that a lot of the leaders opted to stay out prompted a lot of these guys farther back in the field who would still have had a set not to come in and pit. If I'm back near 20th position, 15th or back during that caution, and I had a set left, without a question, I'm coming in. It gained those guys that didn't a little bit of track position, but they're going to lose it relatively quickly. And if they decide to come in next time, if there's a caution in another 5 laps or so, they're going to be a lot farther back than if they'd have pit now and with a lot less time.
Oh, this is where it gets interesting. Down at the very end, the nitty-gritty of the race. Let's see who puts themselves in position to pull off this victory here tonight at the RSR Cup Series. I'm telling you what, it's going to be one of those battles, Brandon, with 13 to go here, coming to 12 to go. I do not know what's going to happen. If those guys can get up there, I'm telling you, those tires are going to be valuable.
I've got to give the advantage right now to Curtis Preston and Cody McCauley, but Curtis Preston's got the outside right now, which has been rolling a lot better through 1 and 2 on the restarts. Pace
car in this time. 12 to go with Kevin Giadricic crossing the line this time. Green flag. We are going back racing here with 12 to go. Who can pull off this victory? It's going to be a wild one.
Teammates 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 right now. I'm sure they would love to finish the race right there, but with the tire differential, that's going to be a tall order.
Here comes
Cody McCauley. He's moving. He cannot wait. He knows the threat behind him right now.
Big push from the 131 to the back of the 9, going down to the corner here. Dylan Reed fighting hard on the outside. Let's see how this all plays out here throughout this. We're be coming to 11 to go. Giadricic up into the wall, a slight tap, doesn't lose too much momentum. Actually, that's about as lucky as you can get. But here comes the slide job racing trio on the bottom of Curtis Preston, Travis Everett, and DT Irizarry as they're pushing Cody McCauley.
It's going to shove McCauley way off into the corner, get him out of line, maybe check himself up as well as some of his teammates here, give themselves a really good shot. Didn't push him in too far, still kept it going, but those guys there got a huge head of steam here.
Ryan Bean, the first guy on new tires, is about, I believe, up to about the 13th position so far. We'll have to see if he can continue his march with 11 to go. Curtis Preston now, when you're right on board with him, directly inside of Cody McCauley. This is going to be an interesting race here. These could be the guys fighting for the end here. But I tell you what, Giadricic and Reed doing a great job with that dirty air in those older tires.
Yeah, 10 laps to go here. Kevin's looking in his mirror saying, guys, just don't stop doing that. He's going to try to put down his best laps as he can to extend that lead and hope that it's enough that they cannot catch it.
I'll tell you what, last time by, Ryan Bean almost a second quicker than the leader, up to the 15th position. Now he's directly behind Matthew Rush, almost cracking the top 10 already for that 25. He is charging through the field, and in front of him is turning into mayhem with multiple cars washing up the track. He is coming quicker and quicker each lap. I think the 25 might have something to say before the end of this race.
Yeah, and the big benefit is a lot of these guys on the older tires, they're trying to drive so hard that they're going to wash out the track, and it just leaves him such a clear lane on the inside to not have to check up for anybody, and he's making great time doing it. It was directly in front of him, a big dive. I don't know who that was that got into the door. Michael Sheffield.
Yeah, the 52 and Nathan Campbell there. And look now, he is only directly behind Nathan Campbell, who is not too far behind Travis Everett. Man, it is really getting... Oh, 4 wide here going down to the corner. 34 Nolan Potter to 42 Alex Rudolph. The 1 of Michael Sheffield and 18 of Randy Cornwell. It is going wild. And here goes Sheffield going around, but it's going to stay green for the moment. Here goes the 80 of Trevor Massetti, our points leader. Here goes the caution. Oh, no.
Ryan Bean is 7th.
7th position, but he did not want to see that caution, I believe. That takes the time away from him. What a unfortunate or Nissan Central caution here, as Curtis Preston has got the lead through all of this too.
There was so much battling going on here. As Ryan Bean was coming up through the field, I looked up and saw it looked like Dylan Reed and Cody McCauley and Curtis Preston were 3 wide going into turn 1. Or excuse me, turn 3. They were those guys at the lead. They knew what was coming.
Man, oh man, and you're seeing here the carnage here. The 42 Alex Rudolph getting into the 1 of Michael Sheffield, sending him around, and Trevor Massetti, who took the new tires, unfortunately not working out for him as he gets caught up in that incident. And man, oh man, this is setting up for one heck of a finish here to close out tonight's race.
Man, I am going to be really interested to see if Ryan Bean can make this charge, get up to the front. And is somebody pitting?
Looks like Dylan Reed is going to pit.
Odd. That is an odd call.
Okay, I'm going to just be frank. That's the worst call all night. I'm sorry, Dylan, but that was the worst call ever. He's not even going to get back to the top 10.
He pit from 3rd, 4th?
Yes.
Back to, what would it be?
34th or 35th. So.
Oof.
Yeah, he will not. He'll be lucky to get a top 15 tonight.
Yeah, that's. I think you're going to be on older tires compared to these guys. You're going to lose positions. It's just scrapping to not lose as many as possible.
Ryan Bean was pretty happy with that. He'll take the free spot.
Absolutely, and he's going to be on the outside now.
Ooh, Brandon, I tell you what, everybody out there, get ready, because I think you're going to see some big moments here. Bean's going to have to do everything he can as quick as possible to get that 25 up there. And I tell you what, he's got the Mamba mentality car with the Kobe Bryant legacy car there. I'm telling you what, he might hit the game winner here tonight.
Man, going for that jumper 3 to beat the buzzer here. Man, I don't know. It's going to be crazy. It's for any of these guys. Ryan Bean's got the biggest advantage with the freshest tires, but the same mentality. is going to be there for everybody. Full send. You do not lift, and if you're going to throw a block, you better have a death grill on the grip on the steering wheel.
Oh
And,
man.
Curtis, GT, giving us some warning up and down from on the track, saying he hopes that we're ready for this one. And Curtis Preston, that was the nice way of saying what he said to relate to the fans. But Curtis Preston says, "Well, I can dress them up, but I can't take them anywhere."
I tell you what, it's gonna be one to watch, that's for sure. Here, as the pace car lights are off, we are in 1 and 2 pacing for the final time before they'll come back around, take the green flag with 5 to go. I must say 5 laps to go. And we remember talking about Dylan Reed, 33rd place with 5 to go. If we get a green white checker, he might be able to get a top 15. But that's a long way to go, man.
Yeah, he's gonna have to be so much quicker. I hope they put a bottle of NOS in that car under that pit stop.
Yeah, he's gonna need it just to rip the wall all around everybody. I just don't see it working out for him there, but we'll see how it works out for the rest of these gentlemen here, as they'll be coming to 5 to go here in the RSR Cup Series here at the Auto Club Speedway. What a night it's been so far for round number 3. Every week, the stakes rise higher and higher before we head into the playoffs later this year. So this is just a building of the momentum here for each one of these drivers. Let's see how it all plays out as the pace car is going to take the hard left turn off. Curtis Preston going to lead us back to the green flag here. Oh, these guys are jumbling it up. Curtis Preston's going to take off here. Got the teammates of GT Irizarry and Travis Everett on the bottom lane. Ryan Bean, not the greatest start. Let's see how it all plays out here with 5 to go as Cody McCauley jumps down to the bottom.
Yeah, unfortunately, the little jumble there cost Ryan Bean the most.
Oh, and they're wrecking. Big wreck back here. I think we're going to have our first overtime of the evening. And we'll have to go back here and check out the Nissan Central caution here and check out our freaky fast replay because, man, very quick caution there. And that means we're going to get a single file restart too, Brandon. That's the biggest thing I think we can take out of all of this.
Yeah, and that pretty much kills Ryan Bean's chances with those fresh tires, but it was a fantastic effort for him. Looks like you're just 3 wide going down the front stretch on the restart, and a little bit too close for the 93 of Dustin Stallings and the 28 of J.R. Miller. Unfortunately, Andrew Little looks like I think he caught the worst end of that. Oh, no.
J.R. Miller at 28 there. That's where it all began. Him and the 93 of Dustin Stallings coming together, and you can see here this 3-wide action with James Court running there.
Yeah,
and then multiple cars involved.
Yeah, not Andrew Little, but 38 of James Court run. That's just the mentality, it's this close to the end of the race. You can't lift, and you just got to keep the car there and hope everybody holds the line.
And I feel bad for Ryan Bean. He lost 1 position out of all that restart. He'll start on the bottom this time, but I don't even know if that's really where he wants to be because he's going to have to figure out a way to get by people, really.
Yeah, he's got to hope that he just gets a little bit better of a jump on the rest of the field and can get inside some people going into turn 1.
Well, this final stage has had some carnage, I must say. These guys have been definitely giving us something to watch out here on the racetrack. Tell you what, now down to 3 to go. We'll have a state, I believe, for our first overtime of the race. Brandon, what does Curtis Preston need to do? Most of all, I mean, look at GT. He's up this second, I must point out, too. But what does Curtis Preston do here?
He's got to hope that his teammate is kind. But he's going to have to make that car really wide. We know GT is going to go after it. And we have seen before where some teammates have tried to battle and gotten into each other at the end of the race, and even for stage wins. So Kevin in the 9 is still in a pretty good spot. He's if anything happens with these 2 in front of him here, he is in prime position to capitalize on it. He's just got to stay close.
It's very true. Everybody out there in the chat, hit us up and let us know who you got coming down to the very end. We must point out too, Kevin Giadrich has not used that set of tires This dude is on the oldest set of tires up here, and he's doing fantastic, I must say.
Yeah, I think a lot of that is just due to time. He he can't make the mistake that Dylan Reed made and pit this late into the race. And speaking of Dylan Reed, he's up to 26th position right now. Single file, it's going to help a little bit. He's not going to have guys ahead of him for these 2 laps that are going to be really side by side. If like they would have been on a double file restart. But there's just not enough time to really get many more positions. I'll be surprised if he cracks top 20.
Ooh, well, we'll see here as we got our first green white checkered of the night. We're gonna have a single file restart here. I think that bodes well for Curtis Preston. I think that at the same time, I don't know, because then you're gonna have GT not side by side, and we know GT and Curtis, they're gonna race down to the very end here. They're teammates, and trust me, they're gonna do their best to make sure they both get a great finish here, but they're going for the win.
Well, the biggest thing is that with it being single file and Curtis having the advantage on the restart, if he gets a really good restart and catches GT sleeping, it's going to be about a lap really before GT's even there to contend. I don't know, it's close. We can't forget Travis Everett back and forth right now. Still, he's probably going to pass Kevin Jadrosich pretty easily on the pressure tires. So he could still come up here and maybe steal this thing, but I think with him having a win, if I'm correct, he might take it a little bit easier on his teammates and maybe try to let them lock themselves in.
Yeah, like you said, winning, you're in the playoffs. We've had Dylan Reed and Travis Everett lock themselves in. Who's going to be the next? Pace car pulls in this time. Curtis Preston go ahead and takes off in that 29. He had him sleeping, guys. He said, night, night, guys. I'm going to get the checkered flag.
That's exactly what he needed to do. Cut down the amount of time that GT could possibly fight him right here. And there's another caution.
Yellow. Oh, man. I'll have to see who that exactly was there. But it definitely happened near the rear of this field. I believe that involved the 78 of Kevin Sabilla here to bring out another caution here to bring us to our final green-white checkered of the race. And, oh, that was just a check-up reaction on guys single file there on that single file restart. That can happen in single file restarts as we go back to the Freaky Fast replay. Check out this or Nissan Central caution. Look at a few guys going high and low, and that's just checkups, and then boom. And I think Dylan Reed even involved in that 131. So you see him trying to take his tires. He still got caught up in this action back here, and not going to play out the way he likes. But here goes Kevin Sabilla around to bring out our caution here to set us up for our final green white checker of the night.
Well, looking at it, due to my graphics, I just couldn't see too much of it. But what I could see is that it looked like the 81 and the 131 tried to be a little bit cheeky with that restart, and unfortunately it cost him there just with everybody checking up. But tried to play some games. I guess Dylan Reed figured, I need to get as many positions as possible. He got up to 23rd with that move, but I'm not sure how allowed that is with the league rules. But of course that's up to them. But unfortunate in any case for the 78.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that all plays out. But I tell you what, Curtis Preston, I don't know if he liked that too much because he had one of the best restarts we've seen all night, especially with the single file style restart.
Well, I mean, the good news is that he still maintained the lead, and this is the last chance to get at it. So he's saying, come on, guys, go ahead and wreck again.
Yeah, I mean, if it happens again right off the start, he's the winner. So, but if we take that white flag, he's got to make it back around as our leader.
Oh, man, one more time.
One more time. I tell you what, everybody out there, let us know who you got. Who you're taking here, who you're rooting for, and who's going to come back around to put themselves locked into the playoffs. And we got a question on who's the youngest driver. I'm not sure. If we were in the ARCA series, I'd be pretty sure it was Hunter Hayward.
Yeah. Yep, Hunter Hayward in the ARCA series.
But other than that, I am not sure which driver is the youngest, actually. That's a good question. I know Trevor Massetti is in his, I believe Trevor Massetti is 18. So he's one of the younger drivers.
Yeah,
So,
if I'm not mistaken, I think Ryan Bean and Craig Burns are on the younger side too.
I believe
I
so.
don't know how young. I think I want to say early 20s, but I'm not. I don't know for sure.
Oh, we got a Let's Go Stallings out there. Thank you for letting us know who you're rooting for. And it looks like we're gonna have one more pace lap before we get this thing back going green.
Well, got some radio chatter asking if Rusty's gonna get an interview at the end of this race for passing the most cars, because they say he really deserves it. He's been out there getting wave around after wave around.
Oh, it's been a wild race. My stomach is turning for these guys. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I've been in this position quite a few times, and it's a really good feeling when you control the restart in this position. But if you're GT or Kevin or Travis right behind him, it's a horrible feeling because you know you're not going to have that much time to catch him because of that huge jump he can get on the restarts.
Well, we'll have to see if Curtis Preston can do it one more time, Brandon, and bring home this victory here tonight. Remember, our 2020 champion. He's had a rough start at Daytona, had a bounce back there at Homestead, a great run there. But let's see if he can bring home the victory here tonight in the 29. I tell you what, he's been so fast. So let's just see if he can pull it out.
Yeah, I got to give the advantage to him. He's in a really good spot here, especially with only one more attempt to go. But I know GT is going to be hungry for it.
Also got a Let's Go Thibodeau out there. So Marc-Andre Thibodeau getting his cheers on there. So see how he comes out of all this. But the pace car is going to pull in this time. For the final time tonight, we have overtime here at the RSR Cup Series. And there goes Curtis Preston off and away as the green flag waves again. Another great restart from that 29. Here comes the 9 of Kevin Giadrich to the outside of the 14 as they go down to turn 1 for GT Irizarry.
It surprises me that huge toe that Kevin's able to get with the damage he has on that car.
Yeah, Kevin doing a great job. Remember the older tires too. He's fighting on the outside of here at GT. This is music and a beautiful sight to the eyes of Curtis Preston. He is loving what he's seeing in his rearview mirror here as they go down to 3 and 4 for possibly the second to last time tonight.
Well, in order for Kevin to maintain this right now, he is going to be making those tires scream. And like you said, this is exactly what Curtis Preston wants to see. If they're battling each other, they can't be battling you.
Sheffield Graphics, white flag in the air. One final time here for Curtis Preston at the RSR Cup Series. GT Irizarry able to make that pass work on the bottom and move to that second position. He's got teammate Travis Everett, last week's winner, starting to move his way up here also in that 59. Can he get it up to third to give us a 1-2-3 slide job racing down the back straightaway? Travis Everett makes the pass. Here comes Cody McCauley, though. In the 62, can he make a late diving move here on the 59 to get up in the third? Doesn't look like it. Here comes the 59. Travis Everett holding off the 62 as he gets by Kevin Giadrich. And coming out of 4, your race winner here tonight will be Curtis Preston, brought to you by Sheffield Graphics here. What a race.
And a 3-wide finish for the 5th position. Wow. Kevin in the 9 is just going to be able to hold on to that.
Over Kevin Ruff and Nathan Campbell. So congrats to Curtis Preston. Great race here for him tonight. Great job to pull off that victory. And I tell you what, the slide job racing guys pulled off another 1-2-3. What an impressive night.
Yeah, that's it's always a good feeling when you can get your teammates to finish 1-2-3.
That it is. They're shooting fireworks right now for this RSR Cup Series. Letting them know what a great show we just had. It's been a pleasure tonight here up in the Freaky Fast booth. But I tell you what, let's see what Curtis Preston has in store for us here to celebrate his victory here tonight at the RSR Cup Series. He'll bring it down to the start-finish line here at the Auto Club Speedway here under the lights. And let us know how he feels. Again, congrats to Curtis Preston on pulling off the victory here tonight. We will be back in one moment here to get our top 3 interviews in. All right, we're back here with our top 3 finishers after tonight's wonderful race here at the Auto Club Speedway for the RSR Cup Series. So let's bring on Travis Everett, last week's winner, up to the booth and see what he has to think about tonight's finish. Hey, Travis, it's Zach up in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. We got you.
Hey, Travis, man. Well, what another great finish for yourself here tonight, man. After pulling off the victory last week, you're able to come home and bring it into third position, also with the 1-2-3 for your team there at Slide Job Racing. So another great night for you guys in the team standings, not only the driver standings, but the team standings also. So great stuff. But how is it out there racing tonight, man? We've seen some wild racing here at the Auto Club Speedway.
Yeah, there at the end, there was a lot of different tire strategies going on, and I think we just happened to choose the right one there. I know there was probably 3 or 4 different strategies going on, and Cody, he had pitted a little bit before us, and I think that kind of made the difference for him there. But great run up there with everybody, and real proud of Slide Jobs Racing to come home 1-2-3, and congratulations to Curtis for winning this thing.
Yeah, it was a great race for your team here tonight, Travis. Man, you guys put on a heck of a show. Like you said, the strategy call y'all guys made with the tires there seemed to work out in your favor with the way those cautions played out with the 62 pitting earlier than y'all. And I tell you what, how tough it just seemed tonight that traffic was super tough to follow behind. That dirty air was just so tough. So describe to the fans at home, what's it like when you catch a car in front of you? How much harder does it make it?
I think our guys, we were actually finding it was a little bit easier to make the pass if you could just kind of hug the bottom there coming out of 4. Seemed to be a lot of ground to be made up down there.
Yeah, you guys did an excellent job to make that ground up and put yourselves in those positions here tonight with a 1-2-3 for Slide Job Racing. So another great finish for yourself. You're already locked into the playoffs with that win last season, that win last week there at Homestead. So congrats on that too. You got yourself looking good for the rest of the season just to build your momentum as you go into the playoffs and build up as many points as you possibly can. So we'll have to see how that all shakes out for yourself, man. But congrats on third here tonight, Travis. Anybody want to send a shout out to you before we let you go?
Yeah, just want to thank Ord Nissan Central for sponsoring us, Chef Deer Graphics, and all my teammates over there at Slide Job Racing, and y'all over there at Freaky Fast putting this thing on for us. We really appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate it too, Travis. You guys put on a heck of a show. Congrats on third tonight, and we will catch you next week.
Thank you, sir. Y'all have a good night.
Yep, you too, man. All right, that was Travis Everett, your third place finisher here tonight in that 59. Now we got GT Irizarry coming home from the starting 21st to second. So he made a big climb all through the night. We'll have to hear how he worked his way slowly and methodically through the field. Hey, GT, it's Zach up in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. What's up, brother?
Well, man, I tell you what, you had a long grind tonight in that 14. Starting in that 21st position, my friend, you had to slowly work your way through this field and methodically, too. It just seemed like every stage, the first stage you got 10, the next stage you got 5. So, how did you make that work? And then you end up coming home here in the second position.
Dude, I'm not a good qualifier, and I know after watching the broadcast after the race, you guys say that I'm just not a good qualifier. In this race, as I was watching the standings, my jaw was dropping lower and lower as I kept falling down. I was like, oh my God, I'm in P21. So we were on our team chat, and I was like, well, goal now is just to try and make up as much as I can on these short stages in order to get there. And I mean, we were able to do that, man. But I started to find that that line that I was running with the trucks, it started to work for me a little bit in 3 and 4, and that's how I made up a lot of ground, man. That was a fun race, bro. I ain't gonna lie, man.
Oh, it definitely was fun for us to watch. A lot of guys moving around, a lot of different strategies too being played. You guys seem to hit the nail on the head and get that strategy right with when y'all decided to pit. But also it seemed like the caution may have helped there too because you guys pitted, but you were making your way through the field. But it is tough to follow here at this track, and it seemed like you guys were slowly making it through. But it would have been close to making it all the way back up there without a caution. How worried were y'all when that caution, if a caution wouldn't have came out possibly there?
We were sitting good. I mean, we really didn't want to see that last yellow. I mean, we were steady climbing. I mean, we were working together. Curtis, Travis, myself, and Chef was up there as well. Chef just unfortunately got shuffled back and got tangled up in some unfortunate things on the track. But I mean, we were able to work our way up, and we were all right with it staying green. I think it would have been good. It would have been a battle just like what you saw. And then when the yellow flew, um, of course, the team chat's like, well, these so many people took tires and these people stayed out, and we're just like, well, whatever, man. We're just going to go with it and just become extremely wide and block whatever we could, but we didn't have to do that. I really think that if we would have had some more green flag laps, you may have saw a similar finish tonight as what you saw last night.
Yeah, it definitely could have played out that way, man. I tell you what, you guys always putting a show on out there. You got the 1, 2, 3 for Slide Job Racing tonight. That was great to see. You guys definitely putting a hurting on them out there in your race cars here tonight at the Auto Club Speedway. And I tell you what, it was a drive for yourself. Like you said, that was some fun. I bet just, passing a bunch of cars tonight. Sometimes that's we forget how fun it is to pass a bunch of cars. So sometimes it's bad to qualify, or it's good to qualify bad. You get to have a little more fun, they say. But man, congrats on second here tonight, GT. I'm sure the win's coming soon, hopefully to lock yourself in the playoffs. But anybody wants to send a shout out to you before we let you go, man?
And shout out, obviously, to you guys. Every week we get to talk to you. I mean, you guys do a fabulous job. Appreciate you coming on board. Want to say thanks to Ryan, Scott, and Sheffield for everything they do. Again, they do a lot of stuff, not only while we're racing, but also behind the scenes to make this the best league to be a part of. I've been a part of quite a few leagues in my days of sim racing, and this by far is tops the list of them. I mean, it just makes it so, it's a good thing when you come around Sunday evening, coming in Monday morning, you're excited to go to race Monday and Tuesday because the competition is stout and it's just a great place to be. But thanks to all you boys. Thanks to my teammates, obviously, over at Slide Jobs Racing. We always work together. We learn off of each other. And it shows in the results right there. And damn, I really think I could have got Curtis. We would have had some more green flag laps. So appreciate it, guys.
Hey, man, you have a great night, GT, and we'll catch you next week.
Y'all take care.
All right, that was GT Arizari there tonight in the 14, bringing home the second position. Now we'll move on to our race winner, past season champion Curtis Preston, and see what he has to say about his victory here tonight. Hey, Curtis, is Zach up in the booth, man? You got a copy? Hey, Curtis, is Zach up in the booth, man? You got a copy?
Yeah, it's been a while. How you been, Zach?
I've been doing good, my friend. I tell you what, it has been a while, so it's good to see you back up here on that top 3 position here 3 weeks into the RSR Cup Series, our defending champ, I must point out. So, coming off 2020, it was a great 2020 season there for you. Now, after tonight, you have locked yourself into the playoffs. How does that feel to get that out of the way here early in the season?
Oh, it's real good, man, to get that notch in the belt, and now we can move on forward, focus on the rest of the season. Just need to focus on getting faster and do what you can do, man. I mean, these guys, I haven't raced that hard in a long time. Yeah, these guys bring it. So you're going to have to be on your game throughout the season and be ready when the chase starts.
Yeah, it definitely, like you said, these guys race hard, man. It was a battle tonight. I mean, there was multiple different things that could have played out tonight, but you guys were Curtis, you probably were the constant, I would say, up front, making the right decisions, putting yourself in that right spot. You bring home that stage victory in stage 2, and then y'all guys make the call to come down pit road at that certain time, and it seems like y'all hit it right there like you should and in the right spot. So, what made y'all make that decision to pit then instead of maybe wait?
Well, we got lucky with half the field pitting with us. So we were just thinking, if we get out here, we can make up some spots. Caution comes out late, half the field's going to pit. They're going to have to come back up through the field. We were hoping they were just going to run out of time. But I mean, 5 laps difference in tires here is huge. Just the speed you can carry through the apex. I mean, on fresh tires, it just felt like we had 50 more horsepower than everybody else.
Yeah, rubber, it definitely helps here at this track, this old surface, man. But I tell you what, you were the one to claim the victory here tonight in that 29 Jim Beam machine and pull off the victory. It was great to watch. Congrats on that victory here tonight and locking yourself in the playoffs. It was a special race to watch. I tell you, it was a battle all the way through. So congrats on that. But anybody want to send a shout out to before we let you go and get prepared for next week, man?
Yeah, I got to give a shout out to the guys at Slide Jobs Racing, man. GT and Travis and Sheffield. Man, we worked really good together tonight. Shame Chef got caught up in some stuff there late. Awesome to bring home a 1-2-3 finish. Got to thank Brian Azell for putting this on, man. This is a great league. Thanks to all the guys that raced tonight. That racing up front, that top 10, that was tough. It was hard, but it was clean racing. Just the way we like it. It's what we're here for. And thanks to everybody at Or Nissan Central, ButtKicker, Sheffield Graphics, all the guys that help keep this thing rolling. And as always, appreciate you guys in the booth for what you do for us, man. Looking forward to watching.
Awesome stuff, Curtis, man. Well, congrats again on the victory night. Thank you for putting on a show, letting us do this. And we will catch you next week, man.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too, buddy. All right, that was your race winner here tonight, brought to you by Sheffield Graphics, Curtis Preston from Slide Job Racing. So let's go ahead and pull up our race results here and see where your favorite drivers finished tonight at our 38-car field. What a finish it was, I must say, down to the very end. Curtis Preston able to bring home the victory here. Second's going to go to GT Irizarry. Third's going to be Travis Everett. Fourth, Cody McCauley in the 62 machine. Fifth's going to go to Kevin G. Addersich. Sixth is Kevin Ruff. Seventh is Nathan Campbell. Eighth position will go to Ryan Bean. Ninth is Nolan Potter. The 10th position there, rounding out your top 10, will be Randy Cornwell. 11th is going to go to Brock Potter. 12th, Craig A. Burns. 13th, Adam Buzzio. 14th, Matthew Rush. And the 15th position will go to Dustin Stallings. 16th is James Courtrone. 17th, Kip Easley. 18th, David Hall. 19th, Casey Kuntz. 20th, John Willett. 21st will go to Chad Biesinger. 22nd, Zach Schrittenthal. 23rd, Dylan Reed. 24th, Trevor Massetti. 25th, Marc-Andre Thibodeau. 26th position will go to Andrew Little. 27th, Anthony Younes. 28th, Kevin Sabilla. 29th, Alex Rudolph. 30th position will go to Rusty Modesty. 31st will go to Tony Ludi. 32nd, Daniel Gonzalez. 33rd, Harold Watkins. 34th, Kevin Zabladil. 35th, Junior Miller. 36th, Michael Martino. 37th, Michael Sheffield. And rounding out your field in the 38th position tonight is Bob Fitzpatrick. And that is your official race results here tonight from the RSR Cup Series at the Auto Club Speedway. What a night we've had here so far. And I tell you what, it's a great way to close it out with what battles we've seen. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. It has been a pleasure. But, Brandon, what is your thoughts on how tonight's race played out?
Well, it was an up and down race for quite a few guys. Some bold strategy calls and some timely cautions. A lot of side-by-side racing and just trying to, use what you could of the air to your advantage and just position yourself to be in the right spot at the right time. And we saw Curtis Preston was able to do that. So great job for those guys at Slide Job Racing. I can't wait to be back next Tuesday for Las Vegas and see those multi-groove corners and these guys get around there and lay it all out.
Yeah, that's right, Brandon. It should be fun next week at Las Vegas. Make sure not to miss that next Tuesday night here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting, as always. But now we'll send it up to the boss man himself, Robert Moyer Jr., to close out tonight's broadcast.
All right. Thank you, guys, for calling a great race. Hopefully everybody out there enjoyed it in the fantasy lands of YouTube and Facebook. It's not fantasy land, but whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. A virtual world of racing.
Live stream land.
Yeah, live stream land, I guess is what I'm trying to get at. But like Brandon and Zach said, we'll catch everybody hopefully next week at Las Vegas as we'll see round number 4 and see if we can get a new race winner, somebody to lock themselves into, the playoffs and see how this all stacks up with this stacked house field that they got here week in and week out every Tuesday night. So, but we'll be live again tomorrow night with Underdog Racing League. Make sure you check us out here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Tomorrow at 8:35 is when we go live, as it's going to be Robert A. Moyer here as myself and Zach Hall calling all the action. But hopefully, if not, we'll catch everybody next week. But here at Freaky Fast, we're going to sign off and say God bless everybody. Love yous all. Peace out.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.